make sure you're on camera nicely. Oh, that's just a tiny little mark. Go on, see if you can tolerate that tiny little mark without us changing your shirt. I know it's a bit tough, but it would be good, because I bet you no one else would even notice it. It's the tiniest, tiniest little mark. So it'd be good to just learn to tolerate it. Okay, so let's see what you would like to do today. So, I've still got that good information on working conditions in Victorian times, and an alternative view from the Bryant and May factory that we looked at. So, Victorian working conditions, but an alternative view. I found some interesting information as well about fallacies. I don't even know if you know what a fallacy is. A kind of illogical argument, basically. Or, as always, if you wanted to choose to do something else, you could tell me. So, we could do this alternative Victorian working conditions. We could do something on fallacies, or we could do something else. Oh, fallacies, that's got your attention. I got my attention actually. So, let's have a look. Fallacy, F-A-L-L-A-C-Y, fallacy. Let's see how well your pointing is today. F-A-L-L-A-C, C, not D, C, C and Y. Okay, let's just do A-C-Y again. Try it with pencil. A, then C, then Y. Straight from the C to the Y. C to, going straight down. Y. Okay. We'll just do a little bit of practice before we really get going, Chris, because I want to make sure that your accuracy is good. So maybe if I pop a little bit of tape on here. Okay, we're going to do A, C and Y. Vowel, A, C. There's the A. There's the C. There's the Y. Right? I want you to do A, C, Y. A, good. C and very nice. That was good. Okay, so we know today that sometimes I might need to just help you with a little bit of tape. So I'll keep those ready. So, fallacy. I did mention roughly what it was. Can you remember what I said? What is a fallacy? Fallacy is I-L, good, O, what? Okay, you've got the O, G, I, illogical, C-A-L, touch the C, C, so we'll practice this one, C, A, and, oh, sorry, C, A. I'm just going to help you, Chris, because I can see you were struggling a little bit, so we're just going to practice the C-A-L. Touch the C, go straight forward, then the A, and then the straight to the L. Straight to the L, look where the tape is, L. Okay, I might try a different board as well. Fallacy is an illogical, you're right, an illogical argument. Okay, so let's have a look. And we'll try using a different board as well, because that might help you. And if necessary, we can always use the stencil. Okay, so when I googled this, actually it said it was a mistaken belief based on unsound arguments or faulty reasoning. So, a mistaken belief based on unsound arguments and faulty reasoning. Let's just pick one of those words to practice. Belief, unsound or faulty. You choose. B-E-L-I-E. That was very good. So this board made a big difference. That is very good. Okay, so let's just have a little look. It's quite interesting because I find that on Facebook particularly there are a lot of fallacies. People make comments about all sorts of things and I feel, oh my gosh, that just does not seem right. People make comments about the impact of the refugees coming into this country. That could be one thing that they make comments about. You know, illegal immigrants they call them, and how much a drain they're going to be on our society. Can you think of anything else that people might be commenting on things like Facebook or even on the news? You might have heard things that where there might be a fallacy involved. Oh, lift your elbow so that you can be a bit more accurate. T, R, okay, U, oh, M, oh that would make sense, yeah, Trump, President Trump, yes, President Trump. There's all sorts of things that are said about him which may or may not be true. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at there's different types of fallacies. So, here we go. Number one, listen to this. Straw man fallacy. Straw man fallacy. What type of fallacy? Just for practice. S-T, you're there, R-A-W. Now let's try holding the board and you can do man. You can do it, you can do man. Here we are, I'll help you. You can do M, oop, and then A, and then, so we're going to do a little bit of skill practice as well while we're doing this lesson, and then N. Okay, take that on. So go for the M where the tape is, then the A, good, and then the N, N. Just try it again. M, A, and then N. Very nice. Very good. So the straw man fallacy. Sit yourself down, darling. Go on. Listen. I'm going to get you to read this now, so we need to be in a good position to read it. Here's an example of the straw man fallacy. Here we are. So you point and I'll read in this bit here. Print it out for you. So look. Person 1. I think pollution from humans, keep your hands steady, contributes to climate change. That's person 1. So person 2, listen, then says, so you think humans are directly responsible for extreme weather like hurricanes and have caused the droughts in southwestern USA. If that's the case, maybe we just need to go to the southwest and perform a rain dance. Oh, so the straw man fallacy occurs when someone takes another person's argument, distorts or exaggerates it. Let's write that one down. So the straw man fallacy, you distort or exaggerate an argument in some kind of extreme way and then attacks the extreme distortion as if that is really the claim that the first person was making. So person 2 was not, he was attacking he was making it out as if the person was saying humans are directly responsible for extreme weather. Right? Where he said, I think pollution from humans contributes to climate change. Do you see? So he didn't really respond to the claim that the first person was making. Now, why is it called straw man fallacy? It's because he's completely distorted the speaker's point, and it's something that people do with a person that's maybe a bit weaker and isn't likely to respond. So if you can imagine a man made of straw, it's easy to push that man over and brush aside his views. So, you know, it's a bit of a bullying tactic, really, I think. So distort, exaggerate, and what did we say? You kind of misrepresented the other person's view. So the type of person that might use this straw man fallacy, what would you say? Type of person might be A, G, R, E, S, so I agree, S, I, that's very nice, I, B, and E. Yeah, might be a sort of an aggressive person. A little bit of a bully maybe. Okay, so that's the first type, the straw man fallacy. Okay, now we've got another one. This one is called, number 2, is called the false dilemma fallacy. False dilemma fallacy. And this one involves, it's sometimes called the either or fallacy. So it's false dilemma, or sometimes called, what did I say? Sometimes might be called, try with the pencil, come on. Try with the pencil, lift your elbow. Sometimes called I, T, H, E, the either, O, the either or. Okay, so let's read it. Here we are. You are, look. Let's read it together. Finger. Person 1. I stand. Keep it going. I stand. Move your arm. I stand against going to war. Person 2 says, person 2 then changes that to, you're either for the war, and then there's the or, good, keep it going. You're either for the war or against the troops. Oh. So he used the, show me where either is. There's either. Show me where or is. Or. So you're either for the war or against the troops. And then person 1 says, actually, I do not want our troops. Go for the next word. Sent. Go on. Into a dangerous war. Ah, so listen. A false dilemma is a logical fallacy that presents only 2 options or sides when there are really many options or sides. It presents a black and white kind of thinking. So either or presents a kind of a black and white kind of thinking. You know, so I stand against going to war. Well, you're either for war or against the troops. That one or that one. It's only 2 choices. And then the person says, well, no, that's not really the truth because I don't want our troops sent into a dangerous war. So, if you're presenting, if you make a statement like that, then people, anyone who's listening, could be really turned off by your argument because it just shows that you're just not really listening to, you know, or understanding what the full issue is. So that's the false dilemma, black or white. Now then, here's another one. This one is called the hasty generalisation fallacy. The hasty generalisation fallacy. Let's just read it first of all. See if you could tell me. Here we go. Person 1. Some teenagers in our community recently vandalised the park downtown. Person 2. Teenagers are so irresponsible and destructive. So what can you tell me about the hasty generalisation fallacy? P-E-R-S. Use the pencil. O. Person. T-W. T-W. After the W. After the W, tell yourself, oh, got your leg twisted there. What's happened? There, T-W, person T-W, must be O for 2. Person 2, I, is that F or G? G, E, good. E, after the E, N, E, and R, and A, and L, and I, and ooh, you're swiping a bit there. After the I, let's write that down. We'll swap over to this. So person 2, this is good. Person 2 is G-N-E-N-E-R. Go from there. Go from there. A and L and I, very nice. S, very nice. I, N, G, person 2 is generalising. A, B, O, after the O, after the O, go on, touch the O again. O and U and T, generalising about, oh, hang on, a little break, is generalising about, and I'll try and give you a little bit more tactile feedback with the stencil, so when you point I'll pull the stencil back so you get a good feedback from it. So, person 2 is generalising about T, E, E, N, A, after the A, G, E, R, S, generalising about teenagers, U, this is good, U, go on, lift your elbow, so you've done the U, N, F, A, I, go on, you're there, you're hovering over it, push, 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 R, unfair, move your elbow, L and all the way down, you're there, Y, very nice, person 2 is generalising about teenagers unfairly. The hasty generalisation fallacy. Oh well, those teenagers did that, therefore all teenagers must be bad. Yeah. And that's quite a common one that's made, isn't it? You know, oh, one person did something, therefore all people like him must be bad. Let's just see what it says. Oh yeah, the claim is that all teenagers are bad based on the evidence of just one incident. Even with the evidence of 10 instances, that would not really justify that claim to be made. People will make claims about all sorts of things based on 1 or 2 pieces of evidence, which is not only wrong but can be dangerous. It's easy to fall into that kind of thinking, and we must work hard to avoid it. We must hold ourselves to higher standards when we are making arguments. I think this is an important thing to think about. If we're writing a piece, if we've got an opinion about something, if we're expressing an argument, it's important that we don't fall into these little traps. Okay, so the next type of fallacy is appeal to fear. The appeal to fear fallacy. Here we go. Here's an example. Let's just read it together. Lift your finger. Elizabeth Smith doesn't understand foreign policy. There's your statement. Elizabeth Smith doesn't understand foreign policy. If you elect, come on, you're doing so well. If you elect, keep your elbow moving, Elizabeth Smith as president, we will be, go on, attacked by terrorists. Okay, just for practice, show me the word foreign. Where does it say foreign? There, good. And where does it say president? There. And where does it say terrorists? Where does it say it? Where does it say terrorists? That's it. Very good. So, this type of fallacy is one that plays upon people's fear. Where is this type of fallacy used then? What was the example? Or summarise it. Summarise it for me. M A K I N G, good, making, A C L, very nice. I'll keep giving you feedback because that seems to be helping. Making, you're just doing a summary for me. Making A C L A, this is up here, go on. Making A C L A I, making a claim, T H A T, that, making a claim that, go on, use that hand if you want. Making a claim that, go on. Oh dear, S O M E, after the E, S-O-M-E, some, go on, good job. T H I N, that some think, B, good, I like that, A, and, go on, after the A, finish the word, I can see you're tired, bad, it's making a claim that something bad is going to happen. Yeah, and you know, very, if you vote for him, this will happen. And it's totally not logical, is it? But you're trying to instill fear into people. It's got no evidence at all. Now then, the next one I think you'll like. We've got some Latin words in this one. Listen, it's called the Ad Hominem Fallacy. Okay, can you remember what hominem would be in Latin? What would that be? What would it be? M A man. Yeah, you're right. Hominem would be man. So, ad hominem means against the man. Okay, so this one really is like a name calling or a personal attack fallacy. So, personal attack against the man. Let's have a read. Here we are. There we are. I am for raising, keep your hand steady, the minimum wage in our state. Person 2, she is for raising the, help you, minimum wage, but she is not smart enough to even run a business. Personal attack. How dare she claim, that she could do this. So you can see that the second person doesn't even address the issue of minimum wage, instead just tries to attack the person making the statement. So personal attack does not address the problem. You can't possibly comment because you know nothing about it. You're not qualified to comment. So you're dismissing without even commenting on the topic. Okay, a few more to do. So that was the ad hominem, personal attack. And then we've got the slippery slope. It's difficult, whoever invented these names, I don't know. The slippery slope fallacy. So let's just practice, we'll draw a slope. Here we go. The slope would be a triangle. Let's just practice drawing the slope. Here we go. Down it goes. And if you imagine it's slippy, you're going to fall down, down, down. Yeah, we'll do a little arrow on the end. The slippery slope fallacy. Let's read it. Here we go. This is a little bit longer, so I'll help you because I can see that your arm's a bit tired today. If we enact any kind of gun control laws, the next thing you know, we won't be allowed to have any guns at all. When that happens, we won't be able to defend ourselves against terrorist attacks. Oh, hang on. And there's more. Here we go. And when that happens, terrorists will take over our country. Therefore, gun control laws will cause us to lose our country to terrorists. Right, so in this example, the slippery slope to get to the point of any kind of gun regulation will lead to terrorists taking over the country. So it's like there's a series of events. So there could be, one event might be here on the slippery slope. Let's put a cross on. One event might be there. So if this happens, this might happen, and then if that happens, we might fall further down the slope. That might happen, and then if that happens, we might fall further down the slope, and this extreme thing will be the end result. So in this case, the extreme thing would be, what was in the example? What was the extreme thing? A, B. Sorry. Are you ready? Try with this. Lift your elbow a bit. I can see you're tired. A, B. O. Good. U. T. It was about. G. U. N. It was about gun. C. Yeah. Hold a bit lower. Let's see if that helps. C. Okay, I'm going to buy this on. The C. O. There we are. N. Gravity help you. T. R. O. L. Okay, yes. So this example was about gun control. Okay, and then there was a number of events. It was one thing happens, then another, until eventually gun control laws will cause us to lose our country to terrorists. Okay. So the whole line of reasoning just is not really plausible. It's very improbable. All right. So I think we've got just a couple more to do. Let's have a look. The next type of fallacy is called the bandwagon fallacy. I wonder, do you know when you say, just tell your body to sit down again for another 5 minutes. How long? 5, yeah. Try and tell it. Sit yourself down for another 5 minutes. Yeah, down you come. We're tolerating that little tiny mark on your t-shirt, aren't we? Oh, right, I'm just going to have a little drink. Would you like a little drink? Yours is there. There's yours. Get your bottle. There. Thought you might want some. Bandwagon fallacy. You heard the expression jumping on the bandwagon, yes or no? Just tell me yes or no. Yes, okay. So jumping on the bandwagon means jumping on the bandwagon means, oh, screw shoe. G O, oh good, yeah. I N oh, G, I think you wanted, going. Jumping on the bandwagon means going. We'll just do a few letters at a time. We'll get there. It's good practice, this, even when you're tired. Means going, lift your elbow. A and L and O and N and you were hovering on the G. You were hovering on the G. Come on, push it through. Move your elbow. Going along. Going, have a little break. Jumping on the bandwagon means going along. Let's finish it off. Going along. W I T and H, going along with E B E R, very nice. Y O, very nice. N and E, very good. Going along with everyone, yeah, going along with the crowd, jumping on the bandwagon. The bandwagon was like the wagon being pulled along and everyone jumps in together. So let's read this little bit. A nice short one. Here we go. Look. Everyone is going to get the new smartphone when it comes out this weekend. Why aren't you? Everyone's doing this. Why aren't you? You should do it too. You feel that you need to go along with everyone else. So the bandwagon fallacy is also sometimes called the appeal to common belief or appeal to the masses, because it's all about getting people to do or think something because everyone else is doing it or everyone else thinks this. Of course, the problem with this fallacy is not everyone is actually doing this. But there's another important point to bring up. just because a lot of people think something or do something, that does not mean that it's right or good to do. For example, in the 16th century, most people believed the Earth was the centre of the universe. And of course, believing it did not make it true. So you want to be very careful to avoid this fallacy, as it's easy to fall into this kind of thinking. Okay, it says here, think about what your parents asked you when you insisted that everyone was doing something that you were not getting to do. I remember Catherine doing this an awful lot with me when she was little. Oh, everyone's got a computer and I haven't, you know. Anyway, if every one of your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? It's important to fight the urge and not fall into that bandwagon fallacy. Okay, I think there's one last one to do. So, sorry, the bandwagon fallacy, going along with everyone, you know, X does this, you know, so we all should. That sort of idea. So the next one is guilt by association. Guilt by association fallacy. Okay, let's just have a little read. Lift your arm. We cannot have the educational reform that my opponent calls for because Dr. Crazy has at one time also mentioned this kind of educational reform. Doctor, who was it? Doctor, tell your body, just got another couple of minutes. Tell your body. Doctor, what did we read? It was Dr. C R A down to the Z. Oh, that was the Y. You've got to go to the Z. Move your elbow to the Z. Z, Z, Z. Z and Y. Try it with this. Z. Z. Move your elbow right the way across. I'll move the board a bit here, just so we've got good position. Look, you really struggled to get that Z. Come on, that's the Y. Z and then Y. Just try it again. Go A, Z, Y. A, all the way to the Z, straight there. Straight to the Z. Straight to the Z. That's the T, that's the Y. Come on, move your arm all the way over. That's it, Z. And then Y. Can you practice A to Z? A and straight to Z. Good! One more time. A. Straight to Z. Z, 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 Z. That's T. Down, 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 down. That's it. Oh, we need to practice moving that elbow. So they've called it, I'll read it again. We cannot have the educational reform that my opponent calls for because Dr. Crazy has at one time also mentioned this kind of educational reform. They've deliberately used the name Dr. Crazy to say, look, this person who is known not to have any intelligence, etc., has also agreed with this particular issue. Let me read it. A guilt by association fallacy occurs when someone connects an opponent to a demonised group of people or to a bad person in order to discredit his or her argument. The idea is that the person is guilty simply by being similar to this bad group and should therefore not be listened to at all. It's crazy. So here we don't even see what issues there are with the educational reform plan, as it isn't addressed. Instead of dealing with the issue, the person tries to just dismiss the point by connecting his opponent's ideas with the ideas of a person who the audience wouldn't believe. This is problematic because we don't deal with the issue at hand, and also just because Dr. Crazy thinks the same thing or something similar, it doesn't mean we should automatically dismiss it. So there we go. Guilt by association. Right, so let's just summarise. So we've had all of these different types of fallacies. We've had straw man, false dilemma, hasty generalisation, appeal to fear, ad hominem, slippery slope, bandwagon, guilt by association. I wonder which, have you got any views on which one you think is used most commonly? Have you any views on that? Oh, careful, you'll make a mark if you put the pencil in. See if you can tolerate it for a few more minutes. Which one do you think is used most? B, A, N, D, W, A. This is good. And wa, W, A. Keep it going. After the A is A. Touch the A again. Go on. A, G, O and N, bandwagon, okay. I think the bandwagon one is used a lot, or mostly used, and any particular groups of people that might be using that one? What do you think? Any particular groups of people? Y, O, V or U? Y, O, because V wouldn't make sense. Do the O again. O. Y, O, U would make sense. N and G, young people. I think you might be right there, because when you're younger, particularly in your teenage years, there's an awful lot of sort of peer pressure that exists, isn't there? And a lot of young people want to be accepted by their peers and want to be the same as you see people sort of dressing similarly. You know, one person gets an ear pierced, then everyone else must, and if you don't, then you're the odd person out, and you're kind of the one that must be wrong somehow, or everyone's getting tattoos, therefore you must have one as well, and if you don't have one, well, there must be something wrong with you, or, you know, there's all sorts of weird logic that's brought into it. So, now you've been a little bit tired this afternoon. Have you enjoyed learning about these fallacies? Do you think we might be able to use it perhaps when we make have a discussion about something? Y, E, S, I, go on. I, S, I, S, A, did you enjoy it? Yes. Let's see if I can work it out. Is that another little mark? Don't worry. That's the problem with yellow shirts. They very easily get little marks on them, don't they? Yes. Go from the I again. Lift your elbow. Lift your elbow. I. Yes. I. F. A. see that you're finding it a little bit hard. It's all right. So, it's okay. Let's just see. So I said, did you enjoy it? So, maybe you found it interesting. Or maybe you will use this in discussions. You might say to me, if I say something, Mum, that was a fallacy. And then you might tell me what sort of fallacy I used. You could say, that was a guilt by association fallacy, Mum. So you said you enjoyed it, you found it interesting, we'll try and use it in discussion. Oh, that's what you said you'd do. You'll try and use it in discussions with me. Right then, so we'll look out for that when we're having discussions about things. Right, let's do something else, I think, because I can see you're a bit tired using the letterboard. We'll do something different.